Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are doing well. This is VKM. Welcome to Electron Chemistry Center. Since 3 days you do not have any classes. Children, I am not feeling well. That's why I have not uploaded any video of class 12 alloalkanes and alloarenes. As you know, are halogen derivatives, whatever you say, right? So in the last lecture we have discussed about types of elimination. As you know, types of elimination we have discussed. So now the last lecture, the last lecture of alloalkanes and alloarenes is pending. So almost the chapter is completed. So this is the last lecture of alloalkanes and alloarenes. This is elimination versus substitution. Elimination versus substitution. This is supposed to be discussed under organic reaction mechanism of class 11, but if it is not covered there, we can cover it here also. I'll tell you with the help of an example here. This is an example I am taking. An alkyl halide I have taken. This alkyl halide can undergo substitution as well as elimination. So for suppose if it undergo substitution, SN reaction if it undergo, it is the product going to form, this is the product it is going to form. For suppose in the presence of base, the same base it can act as a nucleophile. So in such cases it can undergo elimination. It can undergo elimination, that is E2. So it is alpha, it is beta, it is beta and it is beta. So obviously elimination follows the Sage-Jeffs rule. If it follows the Sage-Jeffs rule, it will give this product. See why this tug war is going on between elimination and substitution. Why? Because a nucleophile can act as a base also. In such cases, obviously there is a competition always takes place between elimination versus substitution. But when we will consider elimination, when we will consider substitution, that is the point we are going to discuss. But actually it depends on few conditions. First of all, the first one I can take it, nature of substrate. First one I can take it, nature of substrate. First is nature of substrate, second is nature of nucleophile, third is nature of solvent. These are the major factors, children. For suppose if I take alkyl halide, primary, secondary and tertiary. As we take alkyl halide from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary, elimination reaction increases. Means the tertiary alkyl halide shows more reactivity towards elimination rather than substitution. For suppose 3 degree to 2 degree, 2 degree to 1 degree, 3 degree to 2 degree, 2 degree to 1 degree. In such cases, it undergo substitution. So what I mean to say, if the alkyl halide is tertiary, preferably it can undergo elimination. If alkyl halide is primary, preferably it can undergo substitution, right? So now if you see this example, you will get a better idea. Sodium ethoxide plus tertiary alkyl halide. So alkyl halide is tertiary, so preferably it can undergo elimination. Preferably it can undergo elimination. It can form an alkene. As you know guys, whenever alkyl halide undergo elimination reaction, they can give alkenes. That you can see it here. Similarly, you take another example. Down I am writing here CH3. Here it is base plus C2H5Br I am taking. So it is primary alkyl halide. Then in this case what will happen? substitution takes place. It will undergo SN reaction, that to SN2 reaction. It will undergo SN2 reaction, forms this substitution product. Observe here, the substrate is 3 degree, preferably undergo elimination. Here the substrate is primary, preferably undergo substitution. Understood the point? So it all depends on the substrate. So whenever substrate is primary, it can undergo substitution. Whenever the substrate is tertiary, it can preferably undergo elimination. Understood? Now based on nucleophile. So now we will be talking about nature of nucleophile. Actually this topic, nature of nucleophile, gives a whole idea. Observe it carefully. I will be explaining in detail. Alkyl halide substrate, as you know. If it is nucleophile is 4, nucleophile I am writing it as Nu minus. Nucleophile is 4, like H2O, ROH. Okay. And if it is weak nucleophile, weak basic nucleophile, weak basic nucleophile, like I minus, RS minus if you take it. Next one, strongly basic but unhindered nucleophile. Unhindered in the sense steric hindrance is less. Like example, RO minus. And next we are taking strongly basic only. It is also strongly basic but hindered nucleophile. Means steric hindrance is more, like tertiary butoxide ion, right? But suppose if you take all these, in all these cases where we can take a substitution, where we can take elimination. Don't worry if the lines are not straight, okay, please don't worry. Okay, now first I am taking methyl halide. This is CH3X, right? But suppose if it is poor nucleophile, there is no reaction. Reaction will not occur. If it is a weak nucleophile, SN2 reaction takes place. And if it is strongly basic unhindered nucleophile also, or hindered nucleophile also, SN2. Means as it is primary alkyl halide, because methyl is primary, that's the reason preferably it will undergo substitution. That to which substitution? SN2, not SN1. But suppose if I take 1 degree, that is unhindered, 1 degree unhindered, like RCH2X. There is no steric hindrance. Obviously there is no reaction. If it is poor nucleophile, it is no reaction. So as it is primary, if it is weakly basic, SN2, and it is strongly basic unhindered nucleophile, SN2. But if it is strongly basic hindered, in that case it will undergo E2, elimination. And now I am taking primary that is hindered, means steric hindrance is there. So if steric hindrance is there, then I am taking an example. It is alpha, it is beta. There is a branching. At beta position there is a branching. In such case, if it is hindered, poor nucleophile cannot affect, right? And weakly basic means SN2. Strongly basic in the sense, in such case it is preferably undergo E2. If it is hindered also, it will undergo E2. Means whenever at beta position, if branching is there, it preferably undergo elimination. Hope you understand that point. Now if I take a secondary alkyl halide, I will take a secondary alkyl halide in such cases. Secondary alkyl halide in the sense, then slowly it shows SN1 as well as E1, but this reaction is slow, poor nucleophile, no? So then if it is weak basic nucleophile, SN2. SN2. And if it is strongly basic nucleophile means E2, and if it is strongly basic hindered, that is also E2. And tertiary 3-degree alkyl halide. 3-degree alkyl halide, if you observe it, no more doubt it is undergoing SN1 or E1, anything, right? If it is nucleophile is 4. For suppose if it is a weak basic nucleophile, it can undergo SN1 as well as E1. But if it is a strongly basic nucleophile, E2 and it is E2. Understood the point? See, check it, observe it carefully. So, in most of the cases, if the nucleophile is strongly basic, hindered, then it will preferably undergo elimination E2. If it is strongly basic, unhindered also, that is E2 only. Substrate means, okay, tertiary preferably undergo E2 with the strong nucleophiles. With strong nucleophiles, tertiary alkyl halide preferably undergo E2. With weak nucleophile, preferably it undergo SN1 E1. Understood the point? Okay. So, what I mean to say, if it is like, weak nucleophile, if it is primary, preferably undergo SN2. So, this is the way how to understand the whole theory. Is it clear, guys? Hope it is clear. So, you have to make a note on it, then you will understand it in a clear way. That is elimination versus substitution, right? Now, I will be erasing the slide. Now, check it. Next, we are going to discuss effect of solvent. Effect of solvent. Children, polar protic solvent. Polar protic solvent. Polar protic solvent, it always favorable for SN1. Whereas polar aprotic solvent, which cannot produce H+, that favors SN2. That favors SN2. So, polar protic, if I take polar protic solvents, best example is trifluoroacetic acid. Trifluoroacetic acid. Just wait. Trifluoroacetic acid, that is CF3, COOH. Water, methanol, CH3OH. Acetic acid, CH3COOH. Ethanol, CH3CH2OH. All they can give H+ ion. That's why those are protic. Polar means they can be separated into charge. Whenever these solvents are there, it preferably undergo SN1. Right? But substrate is there, then sometimes it may undergo SN2, but it depends on the substrate. But we have polar aprotic solvent. Polar aprotic solvent, they can be dissociated, but they cannot produce charges. So, they cannot produce H+. H+ ion they cannot give it, right? So, such type of solvents are said to be polar aprotic, which are favorable for SN2 reactions. Best example is DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. This is the structure of dimethyl sulfoxide. Similarly, you can take example, that is acetone. Acetone CH3COCH3. It is also okay, polar but aprotic. Okay, polar aprotic, but ionization power is very less. It cannot give easily the ions. Next one, DMF, dimethyl formamide. Okay, so dimethyl formamide, that is HCO, NH2 is formamide, 2 hydrogens are replaced with 2 methyl groups, hence it is dimethyl formamide. It is also polar aprotic, favorable for which one? SN2 reactions. Understood? So, it is the effect of the solvent I can give it. So, now sometimes it depends on the carbon structure also. So, what I mean to say, it is a final brief can be given. Type, structure and preferred mechanism. Preferred mechanism. If it is methyl, that means CH3L, where L is leaving group. L is leaving group. Then in that case, no more doubt, preferred mechanism is SN2. If it is primary, like RCH2L, preferred mechanism is SN2. If it is secondary, L is leaving group, guys. So SN2 it will undergo, but nucleophile should be good, strong nucleophile. If it is good nucleophile, SN2. So SN1, when it will undergo with poor nucleophile. If nucleophile is poor, it will undergo SN1. If nucleophile is strong, then it will undergo SN2, right? So similarly, 3 degree, leaving group, preferably no more doubt it will undergo SN1. Okay. Now if it is allylic, just wait, sorry for the interruption. Somewhere, yeah, allylic, it is CH2 double bond CH2L. And if it is benzylic, then C6H5 CH2L. So in both these cases, SN2 is possible with good nucleophiles, it will undergo SN2. For suppose if it is poor nucleophile, obviously polar solvents. Poor nucleophile, polar solvents. Polar solvents and poor nucleophile. In such cases, it will preferably undergo SN1. Means if you observe, if it is poor nucleophile, it will preferably undergo SN1. If it is a good nucleophile, it will undergo SN2 mechanism. Is it clear? And whenever they have given vinylic halides are inert. CH2 double bond CHL. Vinylic halides are inert towards SN reactions. Towards substitution reactions, vinylic halides are very less reactive, guys. And as well as aryl halides also, which are less reactive, as you know. Aryl halides are less reactive towards nucleophilic substitution reactions. Hope you understand the topic. So this is all about elimination versus substitution. Elimination versus substitution. Hope you like the video. If you like it, please click on the like button. If you have any doubts, post it in the comment section. And one more, that is, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have already subscribed, please click on the bell icon for further videos and notifications. Right? We'll start a fresh chapter. Along with that, we will discuss questions also based on alloalkanes and alloarenes in the next lecture. Okay? Until then, signing off. Take care.